Hi, everyone. Well, what is surprising about this stock market is that it continues to move higher despite overbought conditions. I want to go ahead and switch and let me get rid of volume here really quick. So first off, we'll just go over markets rallied today and volume was lower on the NASDAQ. New York Stock Exchange, though, volume was higher as it broke out above the recent resistance. S&P 500 breaking out to new all-time highs. Volume was higher the day before, so that's always good too. Dow Jones Industrial Average, same thing. The Russell 2000, haven't checked the volume yet, but with a big intraday reversal, kind of hoping it is lower. The Nasdaq also, the lower volumes, kind of disappointing. But what we can see here, since volume's so low, we can go ahead and see TSV is working off overbought conditions, still trending higher. MACD, same thing, working off overbought conditions, still trending higher. The Russell 2000, can't see that, so now we got to get rid of the volume bars. You see working off the overbought conditions in TSV, same thing with MACD. The S&P 500 working off those overbought conditions, and look at us move higher. So I don't see how that's not bullish. And then looking at the stochastics on the bottom line, you can see still very overbought on the S&P 500. Dow Jones Industrial Average finally starting to look like it wants to roll over. So like I said, we just because we're hitting new highs I don't think we're just going to keep on hitting new highs. We should probably stair step higher, then pull back or something, because you can see here the NASDAQ is starting to roll over below its 10-day stochastics moving average, and then also the Russell 2000 is now firmly heading lower with the moving average beginning to roll over too. So we need to keep that in consideration that we are still in an overbought market. That's why we had such a big intraday pullback and move off the intraday highs in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Russell 2000. It was actually quite a large pullback overall from the intraday highs, especially Russell 2000. Anyway, we only have one sell, LXFT. You don't have to fully sell it. I just am. I'm done. My emergency sell stop at first, when I first went long, was all the way down here. Then after the big up day, it became this day, so I remained under 38.57. However, now after basically closing right at or just slightly above where it opened on 11:14 by the 11:17 close. It actually closed below the low of day, 39.56 and 39.47 today on above average volume. BOP actually moved lower even though it's still green. No bueno. 100% full sell. Also, I know that it's one of our best setups that we've seen in a long time, but EQM was up a lot today and it reversed those gains. The only good news on this one is it closed higher than where it opened, but it shouldn't have reversed those gains. The good news is that BOP ticked slightly higher and volume was below average, so it's not that bad. But that being said, I want to go ahead and move up half of my sell stop. So I had them all right below this low. I'm moving half up to a move below the low a day of that the signal day. So EQM still looks great, but the intraday reversal no good. And then also the only other stock that we need to watch for another sell signal is Ruby, close below the 10-day moving average. If it moves or closes below the low a day here, 1243 tomorrow, we'll probably want to go ahead and take 25% off of it at least, especially with BOP going. It's not like BOP is still green during this pullback. BOP is actually getting weaker, so that might be an indication that the stock might not be as strong as I thought it was going to be. So we have two new long signals, actually, or one new long signal, one add, and then there's another one. JLL is a new long signal out of my Can Slim Scan. Very excellent fundamentals. And there's other stocks moving and other stocks setting up, like PEB is in a buy stop consideration pattern, and AVB especially is in a buy stop consideration pattern. Saw CBG breakout today. So JLL breakout, pocket pivot point, some green BOP. Looks good, hitting new highs, probably all-time highs. Yep. So JLL is a new long, 2.5% of the account capital. Also SKX pocket pivot point signal, 2.5% signal right here. And then the final long signal is FOLD. FOLD is a very speculative long signal, so this would be the most 1% account capital, especially at the $6 stock when you're dealing with 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure accounts. Just can't really load up. So 1% account capital. Why I like it is because after this up day, closed off its highs, big surge in BOP volume and price. Well, BOP increased today. Maybe it'll go max green again. Volume was well above average, and it's closing above the previous day's close and closing near the high of the day of today's range. So overall, very, very bullish stock. 1%. The SKX, so you can use your final sell stops on that one below the low day today, the low day the day before, and the final one for this signal would be up below the 1112 lows. But overall, SKX is the high quality one. JLL is secondary high quality because it's not in the perfect speculator scan, and that's because it's a REIT, so it's not going to move like the other one. So good luck. And then Fold is the speculative trade of the night. Thank you.